Stronghold Jiu-Jitsu in Peterborough are taking on Grappling Industries in London with over 1,000 athletes competing for gold. So we're following a few guys into their first competition along with a few of our more experienced athletes as they take on their biggest challenge yet.
Basically, I was 30 when I started. Phil Yeoman, who's my current Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, he's a black belt under Taka Watanabe. He just moved over back to Cambridge from Japan. I joined that gym, so started with a white belt with him and worked my way up to black belt with him. During COVID, our gyms where we used to train kind of closed down. This location is owned by Andre, who's an old MMA training partner of mine. So we decided to come together, took on some of Andre's students while bringing our students in as well. And then the team's been growing from there slowly, yeah. You can see there's lots of high-level competitions. This is one of them. Win or lose, you put yourself out there in a top competition. And we got a good team going. We are a competitive gym. We have a lot of competitors, and we can bring that intensity of a competition mindset into our classes, but we also want to be open to the hobbyists. It's always good to compete. But at the same time, if you don't want to compete, it doesn't matter. As long as you're enjoying the classes, enjoying doing jiu-jitsu, that's the key thing.
My name's Ryan, 33 years old, so I'm an old man now. It's been 3 months since I started now, yeah. Comp in February in London. It's going to be my first one. I've got zero expectations, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. I train 7 days a week, so 3 days strength and conditioning, 4 days rolling, jiu-jitsu. It is full on, my body definitely feels it as an old dude. But yeah, it's good. I'm ready to not be injured, which is the main thing I'm paying attention to. I just want to hit a head and arm triangle and be over with it. I want to get the choke on and be done with it. A lot of the higher belts let me work, which is a lot of fun, so I get to figure out techniques and where my weaknesses are. So yeah, great group of guys. I've got some pre-existing injuries, ACL tear from a little while ago, which I'm a bit concerned about. I know there's a couple of guys out there that like heel hooks and leg locks and knee bars and all that crazy stuff. So the only thing I'm really worried about is just upsetting a pre-existing injury, and also I'm not that flexible. So that's another thing to think about. But other than that, I'm not too worried. I'm not super nervous because I've got no expectations. So I'm actually super confident going into it. Nerves aren't really a factor. Gonna see where I place. Even if it's dead last, it's dead last. Like, I'm there just to have a good time. And I'm one of those guys, like to push myself a little bit, put myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable, and then see if I can come out on top. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'll get up at about 5:45 in the morning to work, where I drive a school bus. So I've got to drive the school bus every morning. I take Simba out to this massive park that's all closed off, and I can let him off lead there. I did 4 years in parachute regiment. That's where I did my first 2 boxing matches. After boxing, I wasn't very muscly. I didn't want anyone to push me around. Started watching loads of MMA, just really wanted to do that instead. But now I've really settled into jiu-jitsu. I want to get that purple belt. I want to work my way up the belts. That's kind of what I want to do now.
We've got guys who've trained a bit longer, like Mandeep. Yeah, he's a totally different style, MMA style. He's wrestling heavy. He's very hard to put on his back. And he's very good that if you do put him on his back, scrambling back up to his feet. And he's got good wrestling himself, so when he needs to, he could take you down. It's very hard to get him off balance. He's given a lot of people trouble, even the higher level guys, when they can't take him down. And he's someone who'll always push your cardio, which is good for competition, because you're going to be tired after rolling with them, just trying to keep him down. And that's always pushing your cardio. You're just going to get fitter as a result.
My name's Ali. I'm studying at St. John Fisher as a sixth form student. I'm doing my A-levels currently, and I train jiu-jitsu on the side. So originally my uncle was trying to get me into it, but I refused, opted to play video games instead. And then one day forced me to a session, and I just kept sticking to it, and that's about it. I mean, it's high level out here. I feel like this gym is probably the best gym in Peterborough if you want to learn grappling. First time going on the mats, you don't it's nothing like it, Obviously, sometimes your mind can go blank, but eventually it's just going to get repetitive and it'll get into you and you'll be ready for whatever comes your way in it. Been training, been putting hours in, so I'm going to try and get my takedown and control the guy from top. That's what I want to do. I just want to take him down and stay on top of him. Hopefully it pays off, it will, and we'll see on February.
Grappling Industries is a massive competition, hundreds of competitors, very busy, noisy environment.
Ryan's first match shows promise, and he manages to return to his closed guard repeatedly, but ultimately found himself pinned one too many times, leading to a points loss. These are valuable takeaways for his next match, and he puts it to good use.
Ryan, first competition, he hasn't been training long, so we built up a little game plan for him.
In his next match, Ryan comes in heavy and forces the action, first with a trip and then with multiple sweeps. For his persistence, he takes away his first points in a competition match, and he leaves with a new perspective on his grappling game.
You saw that he was trying to implement the game plans, and you could see him trying to hit what he learned on the mats here. And he did show no nerves, or barely any nerves. He seemed happy, he seemed like he was enjoying it. So I've got a lot of positive thoughts on how he's going to compete in the future. I think he's going to do really, really well. Harry is a seasoned competitor. He's done a lot of MMA, he's done a lot of competitions, but he hasn't done it in a while. So this competition was all about shaking off that rust.
Harry plays a stubborn game, leaving little option for his opponent but to end up in a bad position. He capitalizes on every opportunity and accumulates positional advantages until ultimately getting the tap. At one point, Harry looks at the camera as if to say, "Watch this," before securing his first ever in-competition D'Arce choke.
Rust shaken off. He looked really good. He was dominated all his wins. I think it built his confidence up even higher, and then he just wanted to get back into it.
At the end of a long day, Harry has won by submission in 3 matchups with 4 wins in total and only 1 loss on points.
Mandeep has a very strong wrestling base, and you saw that in his matches.
With the support of coach Zamir and Phil Yeomans in his corner, Mandeep puts on a dominant display from the first match.
Dominated top position quite heavily. No one could put him on his back.
As predicted, Mandeep is heavy on top, keeping his opponent's head pinned to the floor throughout most of the match. After wearing down his opponents, Mandeep ends his matches with nothing but respect, taking the time to thank his opponent's team and his own teammates. But in his next matchup, Mandeep faces blue belt competitor Arthur Jones from Axis Jiu-Jitsu, led by Zamir's coach Phil Yeomans.
They've rolled together, these two guys, Arthur and Mandeep, but these guys both went at it, both put on a show. It was fun to watch. A lot of submission attempts. Arthur's a very tough kid. Man, you got to break things to make him tap.
There are back and forth moments as Arthur, at only 18 years old, shows his perseverance, but ultimately, Mandeep stays in control once again throughout most of the match.
Mandeep was trying to keep that control all the way through, which he did, and which gave him the win at the end.
He takes the win in this match, and the grueling pace continues as Mandeep pushes for a submission in his next matches.
Matches he won, he dominated, and he was clearly above his competitors.
Having been in control for almost every minute of his time on the mat, Mandeep looks set to place well in the final, but while the mats are being taken apart behind him, he falls victim to a quick armbar submission.
The one match he got caught, that was a slick competitor, and that was a really good submission.
He ends the day in high spirits with 4 hard-earned wins added to his record. If anyone needed a strong start, it would be Ali. With less competitors in his bracket, he'd be facing the same opponent multiple times. Despite the rules, his match opened with a slam. With no complaints, Ali gets to work from closed guard.
Ali's only done one competition. Before this, he made it a fight. He never gave up.
It was a rough match, but Ali is respectful and stays focused for a fast turnaround in his next matches without the gi. Ali has his moments. It's a back and forth match, but eventually Ali gets caught in a guillotine and has to tap.
Skill level will catch up. We're going to build on that. We're going to build on his weak spots, and he's going to come back better the next time.
This is progress in Jiu-Jitsu, and Ali knows that. The whole team shares in every success and takes many valuable lessons home with them.
No, there's no undefeated person in Jiu-Jitsu. You're going to lose, but losing is what makes you better.
I went in there full well knowing I've only been training for 5 months. There's going to be guys here that are going to kick my ass. Like, I'm totally okay with that. It was more of a, let's just see what the standard is like, where I'm at, what the quality is like, and it was like the best experience ever. As soon as I'd finished competing, I immediately knew I'm going to do this again. I held my own. A lot of these guys that I competed were like 18 months, 2 years deep. And when I watched the footage back, I was actually doing okay, but everything that I had learned and remembered kind of went out of the window. As a takeaway, that's probably one thing I'm going to focus on for the next comp, which is don't rush. Take your time. If I'm in a good position, hold that position, because chances are you'll get points for it, and then they can't get points.
One of them, it was like a really good matchup for me, but he didn't have a lot of leg strength, I found, so I could pull his head down quite easy. And then another guy, an American, and he could wrestle really well. And it does show that difference when people can really change level fast. And he could, and he did beat me, yeah. But he beat me on points, so really, he didn't beat me, I just ran out of time. We wasn't in the streets, you know, we had rules, yeah. For all these reasons, you know, he got the decision.
Stronghold Jiu-Jitsu, loved the guys there, and they were super helpful leading up to the comp, and they were very supportive on the day. I think the experience gave me a bigger respect for BJJ.
I want to train every day again. Like, the guys are basically my mates at this point. I've been here for a few years, and I'm basically here every single day. So I literally seen these guys every single day. You kind of become like mates at the end of it, really, don't you? And like, I get a lot of sound advice off them.
So these competitors you see competing, they need their team and they need the guys pushing them in the gym. And you can always join the team and be one of those guys that helps build the person. Behind every champion, you've got a team that pushes them to that level. And you know, we're all looking for good competitors. So you know, joining a team like Stronghold, we're quite open, come in, train. You get to train with all the guys, everyone's friendly. It's a team event. You want your team behind you, you want that coaching, you want them supporting you when your mind is going 100 miles per hour when you're about to compete. It's good to have your friends and team around you to keep you, you know, not too nervous about what's going to happen.